Hey, welcome to Exposition. Here with Valerie Thomas. I was going to say your other name. Today we have on Tammy Dummitt, multi-talented artist, and stay tuned. Hey, glad you could stick with us. So it is like mid-May.
Yeah.
And summer's coming, so what's going on at the Artisan Shop and Studio?
Well, we are getting that community garden slowly but surely in place so we can plant some things and our community will have food and opportunities to learn how to garden and grow and then cook and hopefully can with some help from our local folks. And we had a book signing last night, Carissa DeLay, who was on our show last month. And then we have Joy Duffy coming up on Friday, her reception for her gallery show, which is amazing. We've already seen the pictures. And all kinds of classes that we usually have. And we're looking forward to...
You had your blacksmithing
Oh,
this
the
past
blacksmithing
weekend?
was a huge success last Saturday. More students than he's had yet.
Okay.
And
I would have liked to have been there, but I was at graduation.
oh, that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Yes. Well, graduation's important.
Yeah, they need me.
And Mark will have more classes, and we're so proud of him being two-time contestant on Forged in Fire on the History
And he was here.
Channel. And yes,
So
he
look
was
him up
here.
if you want to know.
Please look him up. And how do we find our videos for our show?
YouTube, go under Rio Grande Cable Access. There's a playlist of Exposition, and all those videos are there. So you choose one.
Yes, yes, they're
So
awesome.
today we have Tammy Dummitt.
Yes, we do.
Does lots of different things.
Yes, lots of things. She's
Painting and sewing and probably some other things I didn't even know about.
so multi-talented, and she's my go-to for when I need a backup for anything. She's always there for me, and she's a dear friend, and I love her, and she's so talented and so sweet and kind, and can't wait for her to tell everybody more about her and how she, you know, what brought you to your interest in the arts and fiber arts and painting, and how that all came about, what you did when you were younger, and
Okay.
yeah.
Start as a wee child.
Yes, yes.
My mother sewed, so that was one of the first things. I liked to draw. I had an uncle who had some artistic talent, and he taught me to draw a few things, and I just would draw cartoon characters because I love the comics, so I would
Wow.
copy and draw the cartoon characters, learning to draw caricatures and stuff like that.
That's so cool. I cannot do that. That's a neat
I had-
skill.
For sewing, I had years of 4-H, so you had to have sewing projects every year.
And you love those.
Yeah.
Or exposed you to what later would become a
And the
passion.
first time I put a zipper in, I did it perfectly. I haven't done it since, but
Oh my God.
I always struggle with it. But you know, it's like my mom was surprised. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
But I've always done some creative things
Yes.
of all kinds of things. You know, Bible school. With crafts, my mom did like a craft of the month thing every year, or every month. So we would always be like there watching her, wanting to do too. So
Yes.
it's, you know, we lived, you know, through the 70s. It was candle making and macrame, and I did all of that.
Yes. And
Tie-dye.
Yes.
Yes, there's new things that I want to try. I've tried a little bit, but shibori tie-dye is something I want to try.
Oh, we
What's
have
the
to
difference
do
in
it.
that?
It's folded rather than knotted up. Sometimes it's folded, or it's wrapped and scrunched and wrapped with cord or something, then dyed, and then it gives different patterns.
Okay.
The shibori is, from what I've seen, they use a lot of indigo dye with that mostly, and a lot of the Japanese dyed fabrics are used with that technique, and it gives plaids or diamond or triangular shapes because they block part of it, and so you're just dyeing the edges of it, what you're doing. So there's different techniques to use. So it's different than wrapping it around in a circle and doing your rainbow colors on it.
Right.
Or just tying rubber bands on it and dunking it in. It's very different than that. There's some different techniques.
You're always exploring because you're always showing me things.
Yes, I've
And I'm
always
like, how in the world? And then you try them and bring them, and I'm like, that's insane.
Yeah,
I can't believe you did that.
I've always wanted to at least try different things. Now, crocheting and knitting, I don't do.
Yeah.
My sister crochets. My mother does both. I can do a little bit of crochet, but it's really not my thing. But the sewing is more what I do. My mom and I both sew. My sister maybe did a little bit, but she's more the crochet.
Yeah.
And with the painting, I've been, like I said, I've been drawing for a long time. And I've had paint classes and art classes in high school, and I really kind of put it aside for a long time. I've done a little bit here and there. I've done ceramics and different things, and always things with the kids. I love coloring books, so I always colored with the kids, so that was always fun. And in second grade, I had a teacher, a substitute teacher. She gave us a coloring page, and she wanted us to draw straight lines on everything. Just straight lines up and down, top to bottom. It's like, no, that's wrong.
Yeah.
I knew it was wrong. You have something, a ball, it's not flat. It has a curve to it. You have to color to the curve. So I knew at an early age that there was dimension and all that.
Right.
And talk with my hands.
Of course.
Let's see.
That's why I'm sitting on my hands.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people who see what I do and say, oh, I can't do that.
Have you tried?
Yeah,
Right.
you don't know what you can't do until you've tried. So I've always wanted to
And
try
not just
different
try,
things.
like boom. Figure it out first. Watch the little instruction or something, and then try it and try it again and try it again to see if it comes to you.
Yeah, and I tend to want to do something without a kit or pattern. Sewing, I use a lot of patterns. That's really the best way to learn. But there are things that you can do that you don't need a pattern for.
Right.
First time I did a latch hook rug, I found a postcard that I wanted to replicate, and that's what I did because I didn't see anything else I wanted, so I got all the materials and put it all together myself.
Oh my gosh.
And I did maybe one or two other things after that, but it's like, okay, I've done that. On to something else.
Conquered that one.
Yeah.
It just comes naturally to you. And see, that's the desire I don't have that you have, that you are always wanting to explore and do and go through whatever it takes to get that final product. And I'm just too impatient. So I really admire that in you, that you just try everything. And I know when I had some group painting classes a few years ago, you came, and what I love is when people make the painting their own. And you would just fly, just soar in that department. You would take whatever
I was
theme
having fun.
and you would just make it your own, and it would always be so beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of
I know
you.
if it's the same as me, it's like everybody's painting that. I ain't doing that. I'm going to be different.
That really is Caitlin, because her perspective would be always different than what mine would be. So
Yes.
even though she's my daughter, our ideas are often quite different, which can be a problem, but it's a good thing too.
That's
Yes, I
interesting
see
too.
that.
Whenever you're teaching a class, okay, everybody draw this thing, and see what different perspective you get out.
I
of it.
love
There's
that.
always somebody in a class who wants to do it differently. I did some African safari pictures with an elephant, and one lady in one class, she didn't want a sunset, she wanted a blue sky.
Yeah.
And one lady, she was adding sunglasses to the sun and Martians and just
Yes.
party hats on the elephants, just changing things up, just having fun.
Yes.
And then you have some who have some good talent and just really, it really shows.
Yes.
And it's impressive to see that. So,
I love it. It's very interesting, isn't it? It's intriguing. It's like, I wonder.
You ever done
know.
portraits? You said I don't know if you meant to say characters or caricatures.
probably more characters than caricatures.
Okay.
I have a tendency to like a particular kind of caricature over another.
I have a perfect example.
And oh, you do?
Caricatures, I've tried that.
Figbees.
Well,
There's a new restaurant in Rio Grande, Figbees, and she made
I drew
the
Fig
Fig Bee
Oh, okay.
character. Yeah.
it was based on something that Annalise wanted, and I gave her my version of it, and that's kind of how it worked out. I
It's
might draw
so
it 5
cute.
times before I get what I want. But
So cute. So current example of
So
her
like
character.
caricatures and portraits, I've been able to do, but the hardest thing is to like do your kids.
Yeah. Well.
You know, and doing caricatures, you're looking for the outstanding features.
Yes.
Okay, you got big ears or nose or something. You
Yes.
make, just go from there. But I don't know, when you look at your kids, you just don't see those things for some reason.
Yes.
So it's hard to do family. But
It
other
is.
people, yeah, whatever. That's
Yeah,
kind of
I
fun.
didn't know you did that. So,
Not a
Mike, you're going to
lot.
be our guest
No.
next time. Well, 2 months from now, maybe 3. We'll
I'd
see.
have to practice on that.
I need to see some of this. That's cool. See, we
Yeah,
brought it
you
out
just-
in him.
yeah.
He admitted to it.
I think we've got some pictures. Is there something you want to start with?
Yes.
Some type
Oh,
of
I
thing?
can just start with anything.
Okay.
That's one of my vendor's aprons. I had somebody who wanted something very girly, so that's what I got.
It's beautiful.
So pockets for like cash and
Yeah.
order form or whatever.
Phones, cash. Yeah, I use a lot of the vendors buy those, and because of the zipper pocket on it, it keeps things kind of secure. You get your money in there, or place for your phone, or things like
because
that.
you are a regular vendor
Yes. Right, raised around Rio Farmers and Artisans Market,
at. That's right. And where is that?
North College,
Yes.
here in Rio Grande,
If you come to Rio Grande, you can't miss it.
on
Can't.
So
Wednesdays.
Rita the meter maid could use that probably.
Yes. Is there a Rita Meter Maid? Or is that the one from the song?
Yeah, the song.
Okay.
The Beatles.
Okay. Hello.
What else we got here?
That's my Sunflower Starry Night. I happen to like that because I do like Vincent van Gogh quite a lot. So,
Yes.
and I like sunflowers.
Yeah, the colors are cool in that.
She was my backup. Oh, okay. Never mind.
That was a picture. I wanted to do a blue vase with sunflowers in it because I like the color combinations, and I found a picture I like, and that's what we did. And I did do a class on that.
So everybody did that.
Yep, they were
I
all
love
different, all very different.
Love that.
And that is my newest egg gathering apron.
I have one.
This one's I made for a smaller person, so it's a little bit smaller than what you have.
Okay.
Yeah, chickens seem to be a thing now.
Yes.
People raising chickens and getting their own eggs.
Yes, we do. And oh, my favorite. That's the one I want you to get a picture of so I can
Okay.
get a print.
Vegetables.
You can
Fruits
see
and
that right
vegetables,
now until tomorrow. Well, through tomorrow probably
At the gallery.
at the Artisan Shop Gallery because it's so beautiful and I'm going to get a print of it and I'm going to own one because it's so gorgeous.
Yeah, I found a picture in a magazine, 2-page spread, and I thought, I've got to paint that.
That's so beautiful.
That's one of the original egg aprons.
I love them. They're so
Yeah.
adorable.
Figuring out the pockets is the hard part. That is my beautiful daughter-in-law and the wedding dress that I made for her.
Oh,
She
wow.
made that wedding. Tammy Dummitt made that wedding dress. It is
From a pattern, and you just go.
That was a pattern, but
Okay.
it was a short dress. I had to make it long. So.
Okay.
And I was using very delicate fabric on the lace bodice part of it, so I had to figure out how to make that stiff enough or enough body on it to actually sew it because it was very delicate.
All right.
It is gorgeous. And so is your daughter-in-law.
Caitlin.
Look at that.
Caitlin's mermaid.
See, we
So you
love
take that from a
these.
picture?
I made a template for the mermaid, and then I traced it on there, and then I just kind of did the background and then used my imagination on the rest of it.
Okay.
It's gorgeous.
That
Look at that.
was from a picture. That was my first attempt at a deer's.
It's perfect. I love
He's
your
got fat cheeks.
style. I love your style.
I'm still working on my style. There's a lot left to learn.
But you know, it's beautiful.
It's all about practice, and there's my setup at the farmer's market.
You have to go see the farmers market and all the people, and especially Tammy has extensive
I have
creations.
I have a wide variety of things
You
because I have a
do.
wide variety of fabrics, and I have a limit on what I want to do repeatedly.
Yes.
It
I
gets
can
boring
imagine.
for me, and I want to do something new.
I
And this is
know.
Wednesdays,
Yes, today, as a
time?
matter of fact, at 4 o'clock, 4 to
Okay.
7.
4 to
7,
7,
and you'll
Rye
f-
Grand
Yes.
on Wednesdays.
And you'll find everything you ever would want or need there.
It depends on the season what you'll find.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Well, why don't you correct me? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. Just kidding. Sorry.
The truck that was up
Put
there
that in your truck.
at Thanksgiving, my family, we get together and I started doing paintings. It's kind of our afternoon activity, and that's the first thing we did was the truck with the Christmas tree in it.
That is so adorable.
And that was actually the first class I taught at my church. I'd seen the picture, thought it would be fun to do, and that's what we did.
And you have been doing a lot of painting classes for your church to raise money as fundraisers,
Yes.
not just in your pocket, but
Correct.
for fundraising because you're going on a mission trip.
Yes, we're going to Zimbabwe in July.
Zimbabwe!
Be gone for about 2 weeks.
What are you going to do there?
We'll be going to work in the village where our church provided a well for water. So it's
That's awesome.
the country of Zimbabwe is very, very poor, 95% unemployment, kind of thing like that. And a lot of the village don't have fresh water. Well, so the mission group that we work with, they do the wells. And then we go over to the village that got the well that we paid for and get to meet the people there that are going to be drinking the water the well brings up. And we'll do like a Bible school in their school. We'll have classes and activities and games, and then we'll visit with the people. We'll actually be there with them for a few days. And then the next week we'll get to do a little bit of sightseeing, go to Victoria Falls, which is exciting.
Take lots.
It's a dangerous place to go, or you have to have probably vaccinations? and
Yeah,
different
you
things?
have to have some things, the malaria is an issue and things like that. So there's a few other things that we need to be prepared for. So, but as far as danger, I guess, well, anything's dangerous if you're
Yeah.
not paying attention.
True. Anywhere, right?
Yep. Be happy.
Be happy. Get it? Be happy. Get it,
Are
Mike?
most of these things in acrylic? Or
Yes.
Okay, not oils.
No, I haven't really messed with oils too much
Okay.
since early age. And that's my happy laughing llama.
Oh, there's a baby.
Was that a picture? Did you find a...
I found a picture that I liked.
Okay.
And some of the things like the vegetables and that and a couple others were based on a photograph that I wanted. I had an idea.
yeah.
I went through Pinterest is my friend. I went through Pinterest, found pictures, and that's the one I want to do, and then put my own twist on it, I guess, or my own technique.
Sometimes you just need the reference,
Yeah.
the inspiration reference.
That's my
Look at that.
my sewing room. That's where I do that magic there.
That's amazing. I am so happy for you.
It
You
was
have to
actually
have
it was
those
clean
creatives.
that day. So I finally got it cleaned. It's not clean anymore.
Oh, well, you're
Most workshops
working.
aren't.
Yeah, my cutting table is
Yes.
covered with fabric, so I'm always working on stuff. So,
That's so excellent.
Where do you find fabric?
oh, I've got several different sources. Walmart is one local source.
Right.
But
My mom used to sew, and it kind of went downhill after the fabric shop, I guess, burned or something. It was next door to the. I don't know if you were here at that point in time, but there was hardware store beside it, and it burnt, and I think they had to tear it down because it got
Yeah.
damaged.
Was that downtown?
Court Street,
Really?
Court and Third.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
But, you know, it's one big building full
Yeah,
of.
there had been another place that had fabric
And
that we went
Joann's.
to. Yeah, I used to go to Joann's, but now I have to go to Chillicothe to go to Joann's or Athens. Amish Country has two of my favorite stores, Helping Hands, and over in Millersburg it's called Somewhere Sewing. And then the fabric shop in Pomeroy, I actually used to work there. So
Yes.
I'd go up there and get some of my fabrics up there. I can go to 5 or 6 different places and see very little repeat of fabric.
That's nice.
That's why I say the sewing for the artisans market there, it feeds my fabric habit.
That's excellent.
So I can make money selling those things, and I can go turn it into some more fabric because there's so much out there,
Yes.
and I can't justify buying the fabric just because I want it. I have to have something to do with it. So
Now, when you go shopping with fabric, do you see as like, oh, this is a piece that looks like it needs to be addressed, or does the fabric inspire you, or you just like fabric?
both.
Because my wife likes paper, and she just likes
Yeah,
paper.
yeah.
you know?
I've done some cardstock and some paper shopping myself from time to time. But I go with, maybe I might have an idea of what I want, or I browse enough to know that, okay, I've seen this and it would go with this, or I'll get a key piece and then I'll build around it. A lot of times the fabric companies have collections, and they'll have coordinating pieces. They may have different size prints or geometrics, and they'll coordinate color-wise, and they might have 2 different sets of colors or 3 different sets of colors.
Like in the same type of fabric?
The same pattern,
You know,
same
weights
print,
and
but different
stuff.
colors. Different colors.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of options. And then you have basics, your basic solid color muslins, but even those from manufacturer to manufacturer are different in color. So you have to really watch and get your colors together. So
Yeah, probably get it from the same bolt or
Well-
lot numbers and stuff.
even matching colors from one company to another is hard to find the
Right.
right match. So sometimes that's been my biggest thing. I have lots of greens, but I don't have that green that would work with this, or just a little bit more blue or a little bit more yellow. So
How about
even
machines? Where do you source that?
machines, well, my last machine I bought at Walmart. Before that, I've gotten 2 sewing machines from the fabric shop in Pomeroy when I worked there. My first one came from my graduation. When I graduated high school, my mom said, "What do you want?" I said, "A sewing machine." She thought I'd want a typewriter because I was in a business class at school. I said, "No, I want a sewing machine."
Was that like a big
Excellent.
cast iron deal, or plastic, or what?
No, it was heavier than what they are now, for
Right.
sure.
My mom's was heavy.
Yes, yeah.
She's quite a bit older, but you know, it's
I think we have one of
Cast
those,
iron.
my mother-in-law's.
not the treadle type.
No, but
There
the
are
ones
did have one of
that
those.
People still
Th-
use
that'll
those,
rip your
yeah.
arm out of your socket when you try to lift it. Yes. Those are.
I always wanted to have an upholstery type machine.
Oh gosh, what are those called?
An upholstery
Isn't
type
there?
thing.
I don't know.
There's a serger. Yeah, I have.
What does that
Well,
mean?
sergers.
Serger doesn't overlock. It takes 3 or 4 threads, and when it stitches, it'll trim off your fabric at the same time, and it'll stitch and do kind of overlock, so it finishes the edge. And you can have a separate seam, almost separate seam for just the seam part.
No, is that what they do? I always wonder.
Yeah, most of your manufactured clothing has that serged seam in it.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. What were you going to say? I'm sorry.
No, I
My
kind of
oohs
knew
and
what
ahs
it was.
would-
My mom
yeah.
sewed, so
She had
you
a
know.
serger.
Yeah,
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 not
It's kind of a cool
surgery,
thing. No,
serger.
but serger.
no, but you know, fixing things on the, doing car seats and that kind of thing, you can't do in a regular sewing machine
Yeah, you
because you got to go
probably-
through heavy fabrics.
You'd need a more industrial
upholstery.
machine
And
for
leathers
that.
and
Yeah. Or
stuff.
someone will do a heavy duty machine with particular needles. Your needles are important. What you use to there's universal needles, and then there's needles for woven fabrics, and then some for knits. So they have
Yikes.
different points on the ends, and they go through your fabric in a different way. And leather has almost a flared shaft on it to cut through. So there is different weights of the needles for different weight fabrics.
Oh, good grief.
You think
That's
it's
just
like
too
a dying
much.
craft now?
Um,
Because in the
Yes and no.
70s and 60s,
yeah.
a lot of people sewed.
I don't think the apparel sewing isn't quite what it used to be. People don't sew their own clothes as much as they used to because it's too easy and too cheap to go to the store and buy. You may not
Yeah,
have
by
the
the time
same
you
quality
get all your money into all
Yes.
that, you've paid as much as you would have anywhere else.
or more, but you may have better quality. But if you can't, there's fitting clothes. A lot of people just need to get somebody to hem their pants or take in a dart or something to make it fit better with the store-bought clothes.
Right.
But you have to do the same thing when you make your own as well. You have to make it fit well.
Right.
So there's skills there that are not taught. Sometimes
Because they
it's-
don't do that in school now, do they? With like home ec classes and
They
shop
not
and all that
not
stuff.
the clothing sewing. They get them out there and they learn different techniques in sewing. I have a friend who is the home ec teacher at South Gallia, and they're always sewing different projects
That's great.
and knitting fabric and things like that.
Okay.
And but they're learning to use machine, and sometimes
Yes.
that's key. If you can learn to sew a straight stitch, or you can learn a curve, or learning how to trim your seams to turn it to make it lay flat or something like that. There's
Yes.
things to learn.
There's lots of things to learn.
And then, do you ever have to get your machine worked on,
I
oiled and such?
I've done some of my own.
Yeah, I wondered. We used to have a shop that would do that, and
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
these places are going away.
Yes, they are. There is a local man who does do some things. I haven't had to take anything to him, but I've got a serger that's locked up. I really should take to him. It's been sitting in storage for many years because it just locked up on me.
Is he the gentleman that does a lot with the French art colony?
I
think?
believe it is.
Yes.
I believe it is.
You know, those things are kind of like clockwork.
A lot of
All
moving parts.
Well, we have a fiber guild,
Yes.
and we have a fall fashion show. That if anybody wants to be a member of the fiber guild, we want you to make some clothes to have in our fashion show and be modeled, and hopefully Tammy's going to be one of them, and you'll see her beautiful creations.
I've done that before. So.
Yes, yes, I can't wait to see what everybody does.
Okay. Well, thanks for being our guest
Thank
this month on
You're welcome.
Exposition. And we'll look for your crafts at the
The
Farmers
Grand-
market.
raised around Rio Farmers and
Farmers
Artisan
Market, that's
Market.
It's a mouthful.
Today and Saturdays, by the way,
Yes, Saturday mornings.
at the Twisted
Specialty.
Specialty store that's right around the corner.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
And thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next month.